Welcome to yet another episode of the Enactus Perspective, brought to you live at the Enactus South Africa National Exposition 2024. My name is Thembalethu Shange, and I'm back as your host for the season. As you know, alumni play a crucial role in the Enactus life and the Enactus teams at large. But today, we get to go through the journey of Masego and how she became a social enterprise owner. And she's here to tell us how it feels to be a business owner and just her journey in general as an alumni of the organization. Masego, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling?
A little bit nervous since I'm one of the panelists, but looking forward to it.
We'll get into that a bit later. I'm actually very excited about that because I know panel discussions always find you nervous, but when you start, you just get a bit comfortable. You start speaking about your journey. So we'll get to that a bit later. But Masego, who is Masego? How did you join Enactus? Tell us about your story.
So my story is a bit weird. Okay. I actually started as a mechanical engineer. I'm a student in the Central University of Technology.
Okay.
So I joined Enactus being attracted by the innovation part. They always spoke about, we're innovative. And I'm like, hey, that is in alignment with engineering, innovative. So I joined Enactus going for that. And when I got in, the projects that were currently taking place were in the agriculture space. And I started learning more about agriculture and Jiki, I'm here and I'm in the agri space and I'm learning and I'm loving it. And that was a total shift from what I started off with when I was the first year to what I ended up with. The business that I'm in right now is in the agri space, totally different from what I studied. So very, very interesting.
I love how you casually talk about how I have a business and, just casually, I'm a business owner and just.
I mean, you have to own it.
You're being very humble about it. Girl, you own a business. You are a businesswoman, okay? Vermi Village, right? Let's get into that. Also, but CUT is Central University of Technology. So I'm thinking engineering, innovation, like engineering-based projects. But you guys took an agriculture, very unexpected turn for the kind of institution you're from. So how did that interest grow and thus leading to Vermi Village being born?
I think the main reason why our projects were based in agriculture is because of the Free State region that we're based in. So major problems are within the agri space because the Free State region itself is limited in terms of the kind of diversity that it can go into within the agri space because of the soil type that the Free State has. That's why Vermi Village comes in. So we came up with that solution, mainly because some of the small-scale farmers cannot tap or penetrate into the commercial space because their crops are not meeting up to the standard. That is mainly because of the soil type that they are using. So when we come in as Vermi Village, we're coming in with vermicompost that is now coming in with a boost for their soil. The compost is coming in to boost the nutrients in their soil, thus increasing their yield, increasing the nutrients, increasing the quality of their crops. Now they can temper and penetrate the market with these.
I love that. Whenever you take people from sustainable farming in any shape or form and, make them commercial farmers through whatever solution you have, that's a beautiful thing. And I think through your product, you're able to do that, for these farmers and the beneficiaries that you're ultimately impacting. Okay, so let's take a step back now. You talk about your product, you talk about your project and your enterprise, but a lot of leadership needs to go into being, the person that runs the ship. You're also a student. How do you manage all of that?
So Enactus really, really, really played a vital role in that because my Enactus journey started off as I was just an Enactus member. I'm just here attending meetings. And then we went to be a project leader, just basic stuff. And then from a project leader, I boosted all the way to deputy president. And from deputy president, I boosted all the way to president. And mind you, in those 2 years, those were the years where CUT was they were national champions. So we had to set a high bar because we were going overseas representing South Africa. That comes with a whole lot of leadership, character building. And trust me, it was not cute. Very messy, but very worthwhile because now I can lead a company because of the background that I have within Enactus.
Love that. Speaking of which, now, what are some of the things that you learned now as a leader and how to then apply yourself in a very challenging space like Enactus?
I think one of the most important things that I learned was resilience. That was a huge, huge challenge because sometimes you find yourself in a space where nobody understands what exactly you're going through. Nobody understands the pressure because you're getting pressure from Enactus, you're getting pressure from the team, you're getting pressure from at home because you're not just an Enactus member, you're also a student.
You're a student
you're
first.
A sister, you're a friend,
Yes.
you're all these other caps that you have to wear. And there comes a point where no one understands, and that's where resilience has to come in. From your inner self, where you have to push yourself and say, you know what, I can get where I want to get, and I can achieve the things that I want to achieve despite the pressure that I'm feeling, while still keeping yourself.
Of course, because it starts, if you pour into yourself, you're able then to give out to other outlets, like your Enactors, being the friend, the child, the sister, the this, the that, right? The Enactus World Cup, which is only a dream for so many teams. You have done it twice. Okay, shame.
Felt like a dream.
Right? So tell me about the experience, right? Just like some of both experiences. How did you feel when you found out that you won, but also now you get to not just the national stage. You're there with the best teams across the world. Right? If I'm not mistaken, you were the team that was in the top 16?
In the previous year,
yes. So top 16 in the world. That is not child's play. Teams can only dream of getting there. How did that feel, and what did you learn from that experience?
In the moment, it took time to process that, this is it. This is happening.
We're actually doing this.
But after some time, I was like, this is what I prayed for. This is what I worked hard for. This is what I've been striving for. And this is as a result of the resilience that I've been putting in, the time, the amount of energy and effort I've been putting in. And after processing all of that, I then had to embody and embrace that I'm here and I earned this. And that was the major part that I had to actually deal with, that you earned the spot. You deserve to be here. Because somebody actually had to remind me, one of my uncles had to remind me that you are from a university that's not even recognized as a university as yet. You had to battle low resources, whereas standard universities, traditional universities have way more resource than you do. They have more exposure, more network. You had to deal with what you had to do. You had to work with what you had to deal with. And you made it work. And you surpassed these traditional universities. You went and you became top 16. That is now against Western countries that have way more network, way more exposure, way more resources, and way more sponsors, because that also goes a long way. And after realizing all of that, that's when I owned it. And I'm like, they gave us the small stuff to work with, and I made it into magic with the help of my team and the support that I was having from back at home, as well as Enactus itself. So that was,
that is beautiful, man. I think another thing we can obviously attest to is how it's built you as a person. And today you're not here just as, the owner of Vermi Village, but you're also here as a panelist for the panel discussion later. So how are you feeling about that? What message do you want to give out there? Someone who might be saying, Masego is doing it from CUT with the circumstances you've mentioned. I too want to get there. I too want to be an owner, and I too want to one day share my story. What do you have to say to that person?
I think what I've just said now is that despite the circumstances, when all the odds are literally against you, all the odds are against you, you're in a country that is underdeveloped, you're in a country that has low resources. On top of that, you're in a province that is also underdeveloped, low resources. Worst of all, you're in a university that's not even yet recognized as a university.
It's tricky.
It's getting there, but and the resources are limited, but you still push through, because what matters is where you want to go. What matters is the goals that you want to achieve. What matters is what's inside of you and the purpose that you believe in. And for me, what also grounds me is also my relationship with God. Sorry to just go out there and talk about my beliefs. Yes. I believe that's where my standing and my ground is from. So the message I want to give, not only to my university students that would be present, also to anybody out there that's in South Africa that is young as I am, that, at the age that I'm at, I've been able to achieve all this, but it's just the beginning. Because I'm in a new industry, like I said, and I'm still learning. But I want to show people that you're more than capable. And you don't have to be part of the statistics that say that businesses fail within the first 5 years, that say that as a student, you only go to school and then you get your qualification, but no job, So some of those dialogues are the type of dialogues I want to have on stage and just inspire students that you being here as an Enactus student, you're already privileged because you already know more than a typical person that is out there trying to just knock on different doors. You don't have to knock on a lot of doors, because Enactus is one door that opens you to a lot of other opportunities.
I love that. On that note, Enactus is one door that opens you to many other opportunities. Before we let Masego go, please describe your journey in Enactus in 3 words.
In 3 words. Yeah. Okay, resilience.
Okay.
Very, very much that. Character building, but also very loving. I have found a community in Enactus, not just from my own university, but I have a friend in the NMU, I have a friend in UKZN, I have a friend in Limpopo, I have friends all over the world because I've been overseas, and that is just amazing.
I think based off of this interview, it is easy to conclude that Masego epitomizes the phrase Black child. It is possible because through her circumstances, she was able to prevail and do all she wanted to do and achieve her dreams whilst being an Enactus member and also now a business owner. With that said, thank you so much for joining us. See you next time. Ciao.